Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how you can quickly create a design portfolio or a portfolio for any sort of industry very quickly using MagicPath and Cursor. Now, when it comes to creating a portfolio, a lot of people have some sort of creation block, or it just takes them a long time and they're stuck in analysis paralysis and they don't know what to put forward. With MagicPath, I'm going to show you how you can quickly create a variant that you want to take forward into Cursor and then actually build it and then add images and then publish it as a live site. So first of all, what we're going to do, we're going to find some inspiration. So you can come to something like Dribble or Landbook, they have good websites to look at, or the Framer Marketplace, and click on portfolios and you can scroll through and see which one you want to take inspiration from. So we're going to use this one from Dribble, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to screenshot this and I'm going to go into MagicPath. I'm going to open the chat, I'm going to paste the image, and I'm going to say to MagicPath, describe with detail the hero section UI in the image attached. I'm going to put do not implement yet, and we can just chat with MagicPath before we actually start building. And let's see what it says. The Heroes section features a minimalist, modern layout with a large bold headline in black sans serif font on a white background, has a subtle rounded button. Okay, so it understands it. So what we can say implement this, but before we do that, let's actually select a design theme. So here in MagicPath you have some public design themes you can use, and you can also upload your own. So I'm going to choose this clean blue one, and I'm going to say create this portfolio hero section, and I'm going to click on enter, and let's just see what it creates. And while we're waiting for that component to finish, we can go and make another one. So we can click on preview on this Framer template one, and we can take a screenshot of the hero section. We can copy this, we can go back to MagicPath, and we can say create this hero section layout with perfect accuracy. We can paste the image in here, and we can click on enter. And if we want to make a features section, we can say simply create a design portfolio features section, and then we can also go back and try and get some inspiration if we want. Well, not feature section, rather portfolio section. So we could actually screenshot all this. Like this, I'll screenshot just one of them and copy this to clipboard, go back to MagicPath. So create a portfolio section, paste this image. We can say use the image attached, but create 4 cards like the image. Click on paste, and we'll see what that creates in here. So these ones are finished, and we can make some small tweaks. For example, we can remove these buttons here, just by pressing delete, and then save. And then for this one, you can see it's made them vertical instead of horizontal. So we can say, I want each portfolio card to be horizontal, not vertical. I'm going to press enter on there. Let's check the first one. Okay, so this one's made a border around it. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but we can always choose the other one. But if you come in here, you can change the height of this if it's too low to 500, should we say. Let's see, can we change this one? Let's prompt it actually. let's prompt it, click on this and say make the images be 500 pixel height, make them taller, and press enter on here. And you're going to see very quickly how you can build a lot of different components that you can mix and match, and then have a good visual idea of which ones you want to choose to actually put together in your portfolio. So I'm going to wait for these to finish and then I'll get back to you. And MagicPath has finished generating, and you can see we have these 3 components. Now if you were to go further, you can generate something like this with lots of different components which you can mix and match. So what we're going to do, I'm going to click on this, copy this one because I like this hero section, but I don't really like the nav bar at the top. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this. Or actually we can delete some of these sections. Let's see. No, let me just delete this and click on save. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a nav bar that I've created here to the top. See these, maybe this floating nav bar. And then I'm going to add this features section or portfolio project section. And then I'm going to add an about section. And then I'm going to add a footer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into the chat. I'm going to say add to the top. I'm going to press at, and then you can reference other sections and components that you built. So I'm going to say floating navbar. I'm going to say then under this, or under the hero section, in brackets under the logos, because I know there's logos there, add, and then what I can do, press at, find the name as this one, portfolio 5 project section, then under this 5 projects section, add, press that again, and we're going to add this about section, and then under the about section, I'm going to add footer, portfolio footer, and you can reference up to 4 different components. You can press enter here, and we're going to see if it manages to create this. So we've encountered a little issue here, as you can see. So we've encountered a little issue. It's gone ahead and redesigned the whole thing. So what we can do, we can go back to V1 and we can try and do this again. So we can, actually let's leave this navbar for now. Let's focus on the more important sections. So what we can do, we can go underneath and we can say under the logos, add, and we can say this. Do it incrementally, step by step, and let's see if it's more manageable. Okay, it's done the same thing again. So what I need to do, I need to go back to V1, and I need to be very explicit, and I'm going to say do not change anything else. Do not change the existing design, hero, section, or anything else. Don't remove anything, just add. And then this should work. If this doesn't work, we're going to have to find another method. So I'm going to enter this. Yeah, sometimes because the AI is not perfect, it will just go ahead and redesign the whole thing without you actually giving it some guardrails and constraints. And perfect, we've got our project section. Now we can just ignore these images, we'll change them later. So we've got our section, we've got our navbar, we've got our hero section, and now we can add the about section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this and just remove the at and change it to our about section. So we'll put about and say under the 5 projects about section, and then say then under about section add. I'm going to try this, hopefully it works. Footer, and find the footer, press enter, and hopefully it will add the remaining 2 sections. Okay, so we've added the about section and the footer, but what we need to do, we need to make sure that the font is cohesive. So I'm just going to click on this, and we see it's using Geist font, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to try and change everything to Geist. It says plus Jakarta Sans, that is definitely not plus Jakarta Sans. See, do we have Geist? Perfect. And change this to. And doing this doesn't use any credits. So I'm just going to change all of these and then I'll get back. Okay, so I've changed the typography here. I've neatened everything up by using this pen tool to edit the different sections and elements. You can simply just click here and edit the typography, the colors, and the spacing and all that. Last thing I'm going to do, let me just change this. I'm going to click on here and just change the name from Alex to Jane. I'm going to call it Jane Doe, keep it simple. Click on save, and it should save here. And now that it's saved, what we're going to do, actually one more, last thing we're going to do, we're just going to edit this nav bar. So I'm going to say, well, click on here and try and delete this properly. So let me just go here, delete, and we can click and make this about, and then we can make this, all we have is an about section really. So actually let me make this projects and then make this about, and we can delete the rest. So delete, and then we can try and reposition this. So we can say flex center, well that should center it. See if any margins, nope. And then okay, try none, and then increase the padding. Okay, so maybe the gap. Okay, so what we're going to do actually, we're just going to prompt it, and we're going to say center the 2 text links in the middle of the div, and navbar, press enter. And when it's looking nice how you want it, we can take this into Cursor. So what we can do, we can click on view code, we can click on open in Cursor, we can click and copy this command, then we can open our terminal. So open that, make this a bit bigger, and I'm going to paste this command, press enter, and then you might need to install some packages, so I'm going to press yes or press Y. And where should we put your code? And for now we can just click on this and we can name this portfolio-jane. We can download this. Oh, I misspelled portfolio, it's fine. Now it's installing all the dependencies. And then we can click on Cursor, press enter, and it should open this in Cursor now, which it's doing now. Perfect. Let's call it portfolio, Jane, not portfolio. That's right. And then in Cursor, what we can do, we can open the sidebar, open this. We can say npm run dev, and we can open this in our browser, and we have it perfectly here, which is nice. So what I can do in Cursor before we actually make this a live site, I can say go through this and make sure it looks cohesive. So go through this site, make sure it looks cohesive and polished. Check the navbar. Okay, we want to check the navbar in particular because I think there's a couple extra links we don't need. So check the navbar and the about section and footer in particular. So I'm going to press enter, and it's come back with a list of issues that we have here. It's just because we didn't fully polish it off in MagicPath, which is fine. We just got the basic layout and most of the stuff we wanted down, which is fine. So it's going to go ahead and make the changes to make it more polished. While Cursor's doing that, let's actually create the images we're going to use in our actual portfolio site. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Cloud IDE and I'm going to log in. And this is a platform where we can host our images. So I'm just going to log in here. And when I'm inside, I can simply just go on my computer and drag and drop the images I want to save to the cloud, and then we can get a URL link that we can then paste into Cursor. So I've uploaded my images, and what I can do, I can click or right click on here, click on copy URL, and then I can go into Cursor. Let's just check what is done on the website. Okay, so it's made it a little bit more polished and cohesive, which is nice. And what we can say, we can go back into Cursor and we can say use the below images for the project's image placeholders. And then we can go ahead and paste our images one by one. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to paste 5 images that we can use from Cloud IDE. I'm going to paste 5 images that we can use from Cloud IDE, and we're going to go back into Cursor and see how it implements them. So I've pasted all the URL links, and I'm going to click on enter here. I'm going to see what Cursor tells us. So Cursor's finished, but there's another change I want to make before we continue and publish it. Let's make these buttons fully rounded, just like the buttons at the top. So I'm going to actually screenshot this. I'm going to say, screenshot this, and then I'm going to say, make the About Us section buttons have the same size / styling as the buttons in the navbar / hero. I'm going to paste the image for context. I'm going to click on enter, and it should change these quite quickly. And it's actually implemented this change. So now let's get into actually deploying the site. So what I'm going to do first, the first thing you need to do, you need to connect it to GitHub. So I'm going to say put this project on my GitHub and press enter. And you're going to see it's going to tell us how we're going to do it and give us any instructions that we need to do so. So actually what I need to do, I need to log into GitHub, so that's what I'm going to do. Log into GitHub, and I need to create a remote repository. So what I'm going to do, and click on new, and I'm going to call it portfolio-chain, and we're just going to click on create. And then we're going to get the link, so I'm going to copy this link, and we're going to go back into Cursor and say, here's our repo link. I'm going to paste that. So we've uploaded it to GitHub now, and if we refresh, you can see the code is all here. The next step is to go into Netlify. So you need to create a Netlify account, and then you come here to projects on the side and click on add new projects, and then you can say import an existing project. Click on GitHub, and it might prompt you to log in here, and then you can search. So we're going to search for portfolio, and it should come up. Yep, this one, and I'm going to call it chain do folio, and I'm just going to scroll down, and we're going to click on this which says deploy, and it might take a few minutes to finish deploying, but when it finishes you can see the live website in your browser. Okay, we've run into a little error, so what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to copy all of this. I'm going to put it in the cursor and to see if it knows why it failed. I'm going to paste this, I'm going to say read this. Can you figure out exactly why it failed and what can I do? I'm going to paste that. So after conversating with Cursor and going back and forth, I finally figured out how to do it, and let me just show you quickly. So the issue is that Netlify thinks that it's a next.js project, and it's not. It's a Vite project, so you need to go to deploy settings and you need to come down to build and deploy, and on build settings you click on configure, and you need to make sure that this next.js is not selected. Leave it blank and then press save, and then you can go back, click on this, or sorry, not click on that, click on deploys, and then you can trigger a new deploy and deploy project, and it should work perfectly. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. That was a demonstration and tutorial on how you can make a portfolio project using MagicPath and Cursor, then syncing it to Github and deploying with Netlify. If you have any questions, any queries, any suggestions, leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.